This episode of Simone Love's Hour is sponsored by TDS Accounting and Tax Services, where we provide a wide range of services. We provide accounting services tailored to your specific business needs. We also provide personal and business tax services. So give us a call today at 202-299-4082. Again, 202-299-4082 to set up an appointment today.
I'm Simone Love, and after my son was sentenced to life plus 527 years, I took on some of the guilt for his predicament, which I portray in this next release titled Sorry, available now on most streaming networks.
I'm so sorry.
Do you like action, adventure, and romance? Good. My name is Rodney A. Nobles. I am the author of the Drifter book series. The series is about a prominent black professional named Max Cordell. He was a high-profile lawyer and world karate champion who owned 2 karate schools. He was falsely accused of having relations with a teenage student. He was stripped of his law license, his school was shut down, and he was thrown into prison. After spending nearly 2 years in prison, the teenage girl admitted it was all a lie. Max Cordell left prison a scarred man. Although he wanted nothing else to do with humanity, he couldn't turn his back on people who were being oppressed by bad people. He used his martial arts skills and his legendary sword to help people, and then he would move on. The people began calling him the Drifter. The book series can be purchased from my website, www.rodneyanobles.com. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to Simone Love's Reality Radio, where we'll be hearing uncut, uncensored conversations about prison love, mental health, addiction, wrongful convictions, and much, much more. I'm your host, Simone Love. Thank you for tuning in, and please enjoy the show.
Listen up, listen in. Tell your mom, tell a friend, tune them in. Listen up, listen in. Tell your mom, tell a friend, tune them in. Love, 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 love. The Simone Love Show. Love, 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 love. The Simone Love Show.
My son has been incarcerated for over a decade now, after being sentenced to 12 life terms for a non-life-taking crime. This journey, our journey, and our quest for his freedom through activism and criminal justice reform, I've come across numerous inmates. Since they face seclusion from the world, we decided to start recording our calls. Most times, we forget the recording is on, and this is how we created Simone Love's Reality Radio, Dead from Society, Alive for Profit, Voices of the Incarcerated. You know what? You didn't get my text message, but I made it. I got back in time. Yeah, but it's cool. You funny today, huh?
What's up?
You're
What's going on?
funny.
How was that movie? My boy said he was taking his kids to see that. I think last night.
Oh, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Yeah.
He didn't even know it was out.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I said the movie out, Black Panther movie. It's not called Black Panther. That's what he thought.
Oh, it's called Wakanda or something.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Make sure he stays until the end. Tell him that.
Huh?
Tell him to make sure he stays past the credits at the end, not to leave.
Oh, so it's gonna be another one?
No, just tell him to stay past the credits so he don't miss it. He don't miss the ending. Because you would think it was over, but it's not over.
So it's basically letting you know there's gonna be another part to it or something. Because it's gonna keep going.
Yeah, something like that. Stop trying to get the information out of me.
Nah, I'm just saying.
Stop trying to sneak it out of me. But look. So, all right. So tell me something. When you first got sentenced, and what was your sentence again?
It was the first time when I first got sentenced. No, before I got sentenced, before I got sentenced, I was facing the death penalty. But when I first got sentenced, they gave me 3 life sentences plus 44 years because I was a juvenile. I couldn't get the death penalty. They outlawed it for juvenile.
So, at what point of time did you think you might have been getting the death penalty?
Oh, I thought I was. Oh, before that, I thought I was getting it. I definitely thought before I got sentenced, I thought I was getting a death penalty because they didn't change the laws yet. So I was waiting for the United States Supreme Court to figure out what they was going to do. The judge ain't sentenced me yet. She was waiting for the United States Supreme Court before she sentenced me. Because she said she didn't want to do it again. She didn't want to do it again. Like, she didn't want to give me death right then and there. And then they come. She ain't know what they was going to do, but she just ain't want to do it. She just wanted to do it one time and get it over with. So
as you were waiting for that situation and you thought you might have gotten a death penalty, tell me about your mental state at that point.
Oh yeah, when I was looking forward to getting the death penalty, I was just at peace with it. I told my people, I even told the lawyers, you know what I'm saying? I said, yeah, when she do sentence me to death, I don't want no appeals or none of that. Yeah, I find out this is my exact words to him. Kevin O'Connell, Jerome Capone, my mother, Kim Tucker, you could have interviews with any one of them, they'll tell you. I said, I don't want no sympathy. I don't want no nothing. What they did to me was wrong, and they going to find out 20 years from now what they did to me. When somebody read and research about my case, they going to see what they did to me 20 years from now. That's my exact words. I said, I don't want no appeals. I'm signing away all my rights. Just go ahead, put the needle in me. I'm not sitting in no jail all these years. This was my mind state then. I said, I'm not going to be sitting in jail all these years fighting, watching pedophiles, rapists, all these funny style people, baby touchers live better than me. I'm not doing that. I'm out of state. I ain't got no family, no none of that. I'm not doing that. Go ahead, put me to sleep. And they'll find out later that, you know, the little kid was innocent. They'll find out later I was framed. They'll find out later what the detectives did. They'll find out later what the judge did. You know what I'm saying? They'll find out. So that was my mind state then. I wasn't trying to go through nothing else. I was just cool with it. Like, I'm just ready to sign off. Go ahead, strap me down, and go ahead, take me out of it.
So before you said, so you were sentenced at the age of 17, right?
No, I was sentenced because the crimes happened at the time I was 17, but it took longer than that.
Okay.
I got sentenced years later. I got sentenced. That's when I got sentenced in it happened the crimes took place in 1999, but I didn't get sentenced to 2005. I didn't get sentenced to 2005.
So rewind a little bit back when you were 17 and they arrested you. Give us a little bit of a history about yourself before 17 and how you got in the position that you were in at 17.
Oh, well, before that, when I was younger, before that, I was just out here on basically like a little vacation. That was basically it, like a vacation. My cousin lived out here, so that's how I came down in Delaware. It was only for the summer. That would have supposed to been just for the summertime. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was out here just on like a vacation type, situation, and next thing you know, this whole thing, I'm in the newspapers for multiple homicides. That's exactly how it went. I'm in the newspaper, but before that it was just a vacation. I was out here having fun, going to parties, skating rings, all that type stuff, going to Philadelphia, parties. It was really just going to parties, having fun, meeting people, meeting girls, stuff like that. It wasn't, that was it. So next thing you know, they put me, just because of the area where we was all hanging out at, You know what I'm saying? It was a guy that hung in that area too. And next thing you know, they put me and him together as the ones that committed the crime. Just like that. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. When other people said he used to be with a whole different crew of people than me. But they just put us together like, it was more the detective. It was more the detective that did it because they really didn't know what happened. But that's what happened. The detective did that. He lied. There's other cases he lied about too. But that's his MO. Detective Robert C. Cunningham. That's his MO. He falsifies affidavits for arrests. Not just mine. I got another guy affidavit that he falsified sitting in my cell right now that I'm about to make copies of and send them out to people. Like, this is this cop's MO. This is how he destroyed people.
So when did you find out they were looking for you for this specific crime?
Alright, so all right, the situation happened, and maybe 2 weeks after the situation, I was in New York. 2 weeks after the situation, I'm in New York. So somebody calls one of my family members and say, "Don't you know your cousin was in the newspaper in Delaware for murder?" And they was like, "What?" So that's how I found out. They was like, "Yeah, he was in the newspaper in Delaware for a murder." I'm like, "How is that?" So they ran about my people, told my people everything that happened, and told my family members who was involved in it. And they was like, "Yeah, one of them, one of the people that was murdered was related to a state representative in Delaware." They said, "Oh, he done. It don't matter what's going on. He done. They related to a state representative, so he done. They not even going they gonna try to kill him." That's what they said. That's the exact word. They gonna try to kill him. So then it wasn't even a choice of turn yourself in. It wasn't none of that. I didn't. First of all, I didn't do it. And second of all, I'm not about to turn myself in knowing they gonna kill me. So that's dead. It don't matter what I do. I was done. You're accused of, killing a state representative family member. You're done. That's common sense. It don't matter where you at. You know what I'm saying? You're done. So
what did you do next? So what did you do once you found out?
Yeah, I ran. I made sure I evaded the law at all costs. I stayed away from. Yeah, I ran different places. I met different people. Got connected with different people, and I was basically running from this situation for 2.5 years.
Oh, 2.5 years? Wow.
Yeah, until I got caught.
And how did you eventually get caught?
Oh, I got caught in a car accident. I was in a car accident in North Carolina, so the car didn't start back up. But I thought everything was cool anyway. I was in a car accident, so I, gave a fake name, all that type stuff. But the name that I gave, that I was using for over the years, it came back as wanted for murder. I don't know how, but it came back as wanted for murder. The fake name I was using for the last year and a half. Whenever I get pulled over or whatever. But it was working. But then somebody, must have told them that, I was using a fake name. So that's how that went. Yeah, so then I got, I tried to run then. They beat me real bad. I was in the hospital. Down south it was a little different. North Carolina, it was a bunch of white cops, big racist white cops. So they beat me bad. Put me in the hospital, all that. Beat me bad. Sprayed me with cans of mace to the point where I couldn't see for a couple days. They had to put these contacts in the hospital in my eyes. These contacts was connected to these cords to these saline water solution bags to drain my eyes out.
Wow.
Bad, all the way. It was crazy. It was. They caught me when I ran. They caught me. It was a wooded area. So they did what they did to me, split me. I still got scars to this day in the front of my head, side of my head, behind my ear to this day. I still got scars from when they was hitting me with the things. These little stick things, they push the button, they come out. They was hitting me all over my head and all that. I had to get stitches and all that. So
some people might ask, if you know you weren't guilty, why would you run? And I know you kind of answered that in the beginning because you already knew the odds.
Yeah, my people's so straight up. My people's out here. My people's out here in Delaware. He the one told my people, said, "Man, tell him don't come back." Don't even come back. They gonna kill him. That was his exact word.
Wow.
That was his exact word. He said, they trying to say it was a state representative family member. They gonna kill him. They gonna kill that boy. That's exactly what he told my auntie. That's his exact words. His exact words. It wasn't no other nothing. That was his exact word.
Okay.
That was his exact word.
So they catch up with you 2.5 years later.
Yeah, they catch up with me. Said I was wanted for all these murders and all that. I go to court in North Carolina because I contested it. They sort of tried to extradite me back to Delaware, but I didn't do it. So my thing is, I'm innocent. I didn't do it. They had some paperwork from Delaware that the judge read in the courtroom in North Carolina that said they had fingerprints, my fiber hairs, scientific and physical evidence linking me to the crime in the state of Delaware. That's the exact words when I was fighting extradition to not come to Delaware. They had a gold sealed on the paper. It was from the state of Delaware. The judge held it up and said it even has the gold seal from the state of Delaware that they have this evidence against you. So I'm releasing you to the authorities in the state of Delaware. That's exactly how it went. That's what they said. They had physical and scientific evidence linking me to this crime. So the judge said I have to release you into their authorities. That's what the judge said in North Carolina.
So did you come to find out that they really didn't have that?
I came to find out it was a lie. They had absolutely nothing.
So no DNA, no fibers,
no DNA,
no nothing.
No fingerprint, no fiber here. Everything they wrote on that paper they gave that judge in North Carolina was a lie.
Wow.
It was a lie. 100% lie.
Okay, so they ultimately...
You have 1 minute remaining.
All right, so what we're going to do is when you call me back, we're going to continue the conversation. Let us know what happened when you finally went up to Delaware, your first court appearance. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay. We'll finish that.
All right.
I'll talk to you in a minute.
All righty. Bye-bye. After this break, we'll continue our conversation with Mr. Michael Jones, a man who was at one point in time facing the death penalty. So make sure you keep it locked right here on redmediaradio.com.
They tryna keep me locked for a sense. They tryna keep me locked for a sense. Slave time, I done paid up on my dues. It was never right trying to confiscate my rights, but my case won't even make the time of the news. 527 life, I can't do it all. Try to put me underneath, I can fit away. I've been fighting for my life, I don't know who to call. Lord, please let me your wings. Please let me your wings. Lord, please let me your wings. Hey, please let me your. Please let me your. Please let me your wings. Please let me your wings. Yeah. Please let me your. I've been fighting for my life. 527 can't do it. Fighting for my life. 527 can't. I've been fighting for. I've been fighting for my life.
Hey, Mr. Jones. So I know we was discussing you possibly facing the death penalty, 2.5 years on the run. So tell me, when you was on the run for those 2.5 years, how long did you think you was going to be able to continue to be on the run? Like, what was your mindset during that time?
During that time, I didn't want to be on the run. I never wanted to run. But from what my family members and the people told me, you know what I'm saying, basically, you gotta run because they gonna kill you. So I was just running basically to preserve my life. So I didn't want to run. I wanted a normal life. It was times I was depressed, stressed out because I didn't even want to run. My people telling me you gotta keep going. They gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? You get locked up, they gonna kill you. You gotta keep going. So that's why I never wanted to run. I never wanted to run. If it was up to me, if it was really up to me, I would have went and got it over with. But I knew, like my people said, like they not gonna play fair from the beginning. Everybody knew that from the beginning.
And
so
that's
it's
exactly what happened, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I got the proof to show that's what happened. That's the crazy part. I just didn't know how unfair they was gonna play, because I knew I ain't do nothing. So there's no way they could have nothing against me. It's impossible.
Okay, so we ended with you telling us about being moved from, was it North Carolina to Delaware?
North Carolina back to Delaware, yeah.
And you said they said they had some DNA and evidence, but once you got to your first hearing, what did you find out?
Once I got to Delaware, I found out, from the further defenders that they didn't have none of that. They didn't have no fingerprint, fiber hair, no nothing, linking me to nothing. They just had a statement from somebody that was in ICU, unconscious with tubes down their throat, that they supposed to say at that time, that they was unconscious in ICU with tubes down their throat. I already knew it was a lie. I knew that 100% facts. So I asked for it's something called your Rule 16 discovery. That's about everything about your case. Because I wanted to see the evidence that they had against me. Because I knew I knew they couldn't have no evidence. It was impossible for them to have any evidence against me. It just didn't make sense. So, boom. Once I got the packet and I seen, hold up. They saying this guy I got the medical records. He was unconscious. This is the time the detective said he got the arrest warrant to arrest me. Because he went and spoke to somebody in the hospital. He said he knew me, knew my nickname, and I was good friends with his brother. That's what the detective wrote in the affidavit to arrest me. That was the probable cause for arrest.
Right.
I get the statement out, so I read, at the time he's saying the dude told him that, I read the medical records and he was unconscious in ICU with tubes down his throat. So I'm like, hold up, how the hell could he say this, but he's unconscious in ICU with tubes down his throat? So then I'm reading, and then I got the statements. He got out the coma. He woke up out the coma and was talking to the detective. And I got the statement. I seen it on the tape, and I got it printed word for word what was said. And they asked him, "Do you know why you here?" He said, "Yeah, I was shot." He said, "Do you know who shot you?" He said, "No." "Do you know the person's name?" He said, "No." I'm like, hold up. They said this guy said, which I knew was impossible because he was in ICU unconscious with tubes down his throat, that he said I did it. But his statement in the hospital bed, he said he don't know who did it.
So I remember reading through the transcript for the gentleman, the survivor, and I remember something like him saying that he only heard your name through the TV. Like, I guess you were on TV on Most Wanted or something.
Yes. So after he got better, right? It was during the trial. It was during my alleged co-defendant trial in 2003. This happened in 1999. Okay. And he was questioned by my co-defendant defense team, and they asked him, like, "You didn't even know this name. You didn't know this person. How did you find out about this person?" Referring to me. Right. He said, "He found out my name and all that from the internet." Wow. What? How did he find out my name from the internet when the detective said in 1999 he gave them my name and all that?
Wow.
So how did he find it out from the internet? I'm saying, like, he never. That's what I'm saying. They corrupted the whole situation. That's what they did. They told him I did it.
So I also remember your attorneys, because I think you kind of brought all of this to their attention. And I remember reading one of them responding saying, "Hey, Michael Jones may have something here." Was that all surrounding around the gentleman that was in a coma with tubes down his throat? And
because even before I went to trial, when I got all the evidence from my Rule 16, and I started reading it, and I was writing my attorney letters, and I'm telling my attorney, I'm like, "Look, it's right here in your face. They saying that this guy said my name, my nickname, he ID'd me and all this, but his statement's saying this." And I'm showing him, I'm pointing it out for him, word for word, line for line. And so after my trial was over, they gave me a full thing of everything in my case. So I found a letter in there that they put in there by mistake from one lawyer to the other lawyer saying, "Oh, Michael Jones is on or something. He just sent me a letter with some stuff about his case." They was talking about the detective falsifying the affidavit for probable cause for arrest. That's what they was talking about. But they never put the motion in because the judge that I had wouldn't even let them. She wouldn't go for it. She didn't want them to help me in no type of way, shape, or form.
So how could the judge not allow them to put a motion in? Explain that.
Oh, she did. The judge, Peggy Abelman, she was different. She is the law. She did whatever she wanted to do. Just like when she got caught in the restaurant talking about she gonna make sure I die, talking about killing me in a restaurant. So this who she is. This is who she is. Like, she is the law. Don't nothing. You know what I'm saying? She rule on things her way. She do what she want to do. Nothing, no law applied in my case. Like, she was the law. Whatever she said went.
Wow. Okay, so this detective, because I remember you mentioned him and you said he also did this to somebody else. So Robert Cunningham. So when he testified on the stand, and tell me, what did he say about the gentleman who gave him a statement saying that you were the one that shot him?
Oh, he said we was all familiar with each other, like we was all friends, and light-skinned boy with the beard. He said everybody knew each other, like we was all friends and stuff like that. And he identified me. He said, that I had shot him, and I'm good friends with his brother. And he kept the lie up on the stand. He kept the same lie he put in the affidavit for probable cause for arrest. He kept the same lie up on the stand. So is it your contention that he didn't think that this gentleman was going to survive? Yes, that's exactly what happened, because this is a known practice. As you do so much time in jail, you run across these cases more often. A known practice of what the detectives do is a dying declaration. So they'll think somebody about to die, so they just make up something to say his last words was, Aaron Carter did it. That was his last words. So now Aaron Carter done. Because the detective, the word that they're supposed to be trusted.
Right.
So they giving a sworn affidavit. They saying, I such and such, I am a detective, and I was with this guy on his last breath, and he said Aaron Carter did it. And now you stuck. Can't nobody challenge it because Aaron Carter dead. So what this detective thought, he thought the victim in my case was gonna die. So that's why he falsified my arrest warrant and did all that, because he thought he was gonna die and nobody was gonna know that he did that. But God, it was a blessing that the guy stayed alive and made that statement on a hospital bed saying he didn't know who shot him. And I got it in black and white and it's on tape.
So when you had your trial, right? Did you know when your attorney got the statement from this gentleman who had the tubes down his throat and survived the gunshot, did he question the fact that the detective stated, or even the detective when he questioned him, did he question him about the fact that he had tubes down his throat? How was he able to verbally tell him this? No, he didn't. And here's why. Unbeknownst to me, this came out after, I was already found guilty. When my judge got caught in the restaurant talking about killing me. And now the judge and my attorneys was putting the blame on each other. They was, through these motions that I got, they were basically using my motions to fight each other back and forth. And that's when I found out that my judge and my attorneys had a favor for a favor to make sure I was found guilty. That's what really happened. So during my whole trial process and court process, the attorneys never brought nothing up that was favorable to me, because the judge wanted me dead. So to carry out what she had going on, they had to make sure they could be found guilty so she could put me to death.
So the attorneys, this is all in black and white too. The attorneys didn't fight for me because they already had the favor for a favor with my judge not to fight for me.
Okay. So from your memory, when they were questioning this gentleman on the stand, what do you recall was said to him as far as him identifying you?
Nothing about the identification.
Are you
Absolutely.
serious?
They stayed away from it. All they asked him was he high at the time. That's it. Nothing about nobody. I put motions in on my own, asking for a Franks hearing. The judge said I can't do it. I got to do it through the lawyers. And like I said, she made sure the lawyers didn't file it.
What's a Franks?
She made sure
tell
they
us,
did.
tell us what a Franks hearing is.
Huh?
Tell us what a Franks hearing is.
A Franks hearing is if you could submit a preponderance of evidence that the affidavit or whatever is false, if it's false or anything.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Get a hearing to be able to produce it and show the courts. So I put in for that multiple times, but they wouldn't let me file it for myself. The judge kept saying, "Oh, you represented by counsel, you can't file it on your own." But the whole time I didn't know that she already promised the counsel a big personal favor to make sure I was found guilty. I didn't know that at the time. I found out all this after, when I received all the paperwork years later.
Okay, so when we come back, we got finished talking about this gentleman and what he testified about, and then we can talk about the big personal favor that you mentioned with the judge.
From the judge and the lawyers. Yeah, for my case. This what goes on every day in Delaware. Every day they do the favor for a favor for people cases. The judges, prosecutors, and court-appointed lawyers. That's why a lot of people sitting in jail right now that's innocent.
Okay.
This is every day. I met numerous guys that they did the same thing to, but they just didn't get caught. In my case, they got caught. They put it in paper on their own. They put it on paper on their own. Yep.
Thank you for using GTL.
I speak to you from hell. My death was fast and swift. A little bit of ink in a pen wrapped in a white fist. As he wrote on paper, deceit in every stroke. My breath started to minimize. Each word was taking my hope. Each word was closing my eyes. Each word was breaking my spine. Each word was disconnecting my soul from a body that was once mine. I don't know if you ever heard of, but Michael Jones was murdered. Murdered with an ink pen by police. Murdered with an ink pen by police. Sentenced to life is death, but I still speak. My judge took it even further, said things you should have heard her while dining out at a restaurant with her peeps. Murdered with an ink pen by police. He swore to tell the truth, but it was deceit. How can a guy in ICU, unconscious filled with tubes, wake up for a quick second and start to speak? I don't know what you heard of, but Michael Jones was murdered. Murdered with an ink pen by police. Murdered with an ink pen by police. Hundreds of lives are lost on Delaware streets. Detectives lie, judges cry, venting, drinking, saying die. Promised a lawyer a favor, my life capiche. Murder with the ink pen by police. Kathleen Jennings know the truth but can't be reached. Criminal lawyer in 2005, she interviewed the woman and guy that heard Peggy Averman when she bleed. I don't give a F what nobody say. Michael Jones is gonna F and die while throwing back shot after shot of liquor. I got the last say. That mother effer think he's gonna get away with this, he's gonna die. Judge Peggy Averman words in 2005. Kathleen Jennings, the now Attorney General, was a criminal defense lawyer in 2005 and wrote an affidavit saying she interviewed the two people that heard Judge Peggy L. Averman say that to assess their credibility. And Kathleen Jennings said it was true. So the many lives that have been lost to the system by Judge Peggy L. Averman, Prosecutor Stephen Walter, Detective Robert C. Cunningham, and Detective Gary Teller, and also lawyer Jerome Capone that does backdoor deals with judges for people's lives, which are in the hundreds, just don't matter. This is what they call the Delaware way. Straight crimes being committed by Delaware government officials, and Attorney General Kathleen Jennings refuses to investigate because of her years of friendships with these people. This all started with the ink pen of Robert C. Cunningham, a Delaware detective that even in 2020, I've seen still up to the same tricks in Marcus Mack case. Deceit, deceit, deceit. I also see he has the backing of Kathleen Jennings and Judge Jane Jordan, who is now denying anything that enters the court with my name on it. These people committed a crime, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and all parties should be charged. It's not just me that this was done to.
It's been done to hundreds of people that are now incarcerated in Delaware. I just have the proof in black and white, which nobody can dispute. It's actual and factual. I don't know if you ever heard of, but Michael Jones was murdered with an inkling about police.
Next week, we're going to continue the conversation with Michael Jones as he discusses this affidavit by the current Attorney General, Kathy Jennings, in the state of Delaware, as she interviews witnesses in a restaurant who overheard her saying how she was going to make sure Michael Jones was dead. And I have a copy of the affidavit, which will be displayed on www.life+527years.com. So make sure you are back here next week, same time, same place, on redmediaradio.com. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.
Listen up, listen in, tell your mom, tell a friend, tune them in. Listen up, listen in, tell your mom, tell a friend, tune them in. Love, 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 love. The Simone Love Show. Love, 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 love. The Simone Love Show.
This song is for all the single parents out there that's holding it down on your own. And nobody's perfect, and then I just want to let you know that it's okay to say I'm sorry if it's pain I left you. Sorry if I disappointed you. I'm so sorry. Living single life ain't easy. Living without wealth can get the best of me. Sorry for the pain I left you. So sorry if I disappointed you. A parent's love is unconditional. Single parent home, no excuse but not traditional. I'm so sorry. 2 jobs holding it on your own ain't easy. Be cautious of those you introduce into their lives. Believe me, and I know. Sorry if I left you. Ooh, yeah, ooh. Sorry for the pain I left you. Sorry if I disappointed you. I'm so sorry. Living single life ain't easy. Living without wealth can get the best of me. Living single life ain't easy. I'm so sorry. Living single life ain't easy. Living single life ain't easy. Oh, I'm not done yet, because it is our jobs to be that of a nurturer for our children. So I always wonder, could I have, should I have, could I have? Should I have assured you read the books? Should I have been cautious what